Welcome back to Bass Capital Radio podcast. I'm your host, Lara Wallace, and today I'm here with Anastasia Patterson. She's with Bassmaster Open Pro, and she is a female angler. And thank you so much for taking the time to visit us and talk with me. Oh, it's a pleasure. So exciting news for Palaca. We were able to attend the first ever BassmastHER Workshop. So I'd love to hear a little bit about how you got into this and what got you starting the BassmastHER Workshop.
Yes. So I grew up hunting, fishing before I could ever walk. It's just kind of been a part of my life and who I am. I'm not me without either one of those things. But BassmastHER, the actual event was or is an initiative to get more women out there fishing, not just from the tournament scale, but from a recreational side as well. And this was the first ever workshop. It was awesome. We had a lot of women. I think there was over 40 women signed up for it. 46, I think was the exact number.
That's incredible.
And we had a couple that couldn't come, and we had a couple that showed up at the last minute sort of thing. But it was awesome. They learned a whole lot of stuff today. We talked over everything from the basics of fishing to the fundamentals, seasonal patterns, knot tying skills, rod and reel selection, as well as, just kind of how to pattern those fish and what to do. So it's been really cool to not just be an angler myself, but to be able to be someone that can be a helper, as you will, or an educator to get more women out there. And it's really cool because when I was growing up, and even now, like on the elite level, there's never been a woman to make the elites. And we have this push of women that are on the better side and really motivated to make the elites. And I think in the next couple of years, we're going to see it get done, and it's going to be incredible. And, I hope that it's very motivating to little girls and even older women that have the dream to fish, that they will get out there and go fishing. And it doesn't have to be on the elite level, of course, but I think it'd be really cool to see a woman on the elites.
Oh, absolutely. With having the St. Johns River right through our community, there's so many women, children who've grown up fishing just like yourself. I remember my dad taking me down the St. Johns River cane pole fishing, and we would eat cheese crackers, and it was just a whole event. And I never realized how valuable that waterway was until I got older. And so now, how long have you been being angler?
So I've
professionally
fishing. I graduated college, a fishing college. Graduated in 2018. So what's that, like 5 years? Yeah, but maybe longer, 7 years. I'm not great with math. But I've been for a while. Yeah,
right.
Kind of like in baseball terms, not AAA.
Okay.
I am fishing the Opens this year, but next year I plan to fish the EQ. The EQ is the only way you can make the elite. So
amazing.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, where are you from?
I'm from South Carolina. I grew up on Santee Cooper, but I've kind of fished all over the country. My dad legitimately carried me like a cover sack on his back to go
I love it.
Wherever he was going. I'm still very attached with the hip to my father. And it's really cool that fishing is not just a sport for one, but for all that, like your whole family can go and it, and be a part of it with you. And as y'all have seen, this is a really big event for families. They have a ton of stuff set up to do out there for all age ranges. It's a little hot, but people have waters and that sort of thing. And like you said, this is a very special fishery. It can happen in just minutes here. And so I'm really excited to see who's going to win the elite event this week. And also see that person fishing the classic next year.
That's awesome. What's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
I've caught a lot of fish. The biggest bass I've ever caught is over 12 pounds.
Wow.
Actually here in Florida on a private lake. But I've caught 2 over 10 on the St. Johns River.
That's amazing.
So also probably why I think it's really special. Both of them in a well-known location, right off of a shell bed. And one was kind of near a dock, but off of a shell bed sort of thing. And it's really special fishery here. I've also caught amberjack here, which is very strange to me because I don't live on like a brackish water tidal fishery. So it's really cool how that plays out here.
Yeah, very unique water source over here with the brackish water. My dad contends that he's seen sharks out here. I've heard a lot of different stories. Growing up, he told me there were monkeys in the trees, just all kinds of wildlife. So
at home, if I saw a manatee, I would have a heart attack. If I see an 18-foot alligator, that's normal.
Right. Have you ever done anything with going, I think it's gigging for alligators. Forgive my ignorance.
I've never gone alligator hunting. I've fibbed. I have gone alligator hunting. I've never actually harvested an alligator myself, but I have been on the boat when that happens. However, I have gone gigging for frogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
We would go gigging for flounders. And once I found out that there were snakes in the water, that was the last time I ever did that. So I like watching from the shore,
Yes.
but out there, I think it's incredible all the hard work that they put out there. And you don't realize until you're out here watching. I mean, you guys spend hours on the water, and it's really a passion for sure.
Yes, ma'am. You definitely can't do it if you're not eat up with it. You have to wake up before the sun a lot of days, and a lot of times you get home after the sun's already set, and then you have to, eat supper, get your clothes cleaned up, get ready for the next day, and mentally be on point to be successful. So I think that's kind of very hard. It's very demanding a lot of times, especially this week. This is there's a lot of history at this tournament. Obviously, it's Rick Clunn's 500 tournament. This is the first turnaround ever that's been so fast. I think it was a 2-day turnaround between events for the Elite Series and the first ever Bassmaster event. So you kind of got to be on your toes to be able to go anywhere and change anything, not just on the water, but off the water.
Right. I heard that a lot of the anglers bring their families with them. So I think it's definitely a natural that the women start learning about, what their husbands are doing and then wanting to do it themselves. What do you think the biggest takeaway from the BassmastHER Workshop was for these ladies? Oh,
wow. There was 1,000,001 takeaways. I was very elated to see so many women just hungry to learn about fishing and to know more. And even there's a couple local anglers that were there that I know that are very big in the kayak scene, but they're not as well versed in the boater side and being in a boat. And they just had so many great questions. I would think the biggest thing that they took away from today was that they're not alone in this, that there's other women that are fishing and that want to support them and want to help them, and that all they have to do is ask. And then also that, we're all, a high tide rises all ships. We're all going to be better together.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And so if the ladies watching this, or even the gentlemen who know their wives might be interested, where can we find out more information about the BassmastHER workshops or the community that has been built?
So the BassmastHER workshops, as well as BassmastHER feature stories on women that are fishing, are all available on BassmastHER.com. And then you can also find some of them on Bass Nation, the Instagram page for Bassmaster. And I'm sure coming up that there's going to be more Bassmaster events and BassmastHER events. I know it's kind of confusing, but the next 2 BassmastHER workshops are going to be in the St. Lawrence River, and also there's going to be another one at Wheeler Lake. So if you're in Alabama or New York, you've got a chance to get to 2 this year. And next year, there's going to be other ones released. Maybe even in the future, there will be multi-day events. But for right now, with this being the first workshop, I was very well pleased. You never know how many women are going to show up or how many people are really going to show up. But Palatka was a place where I knew that a lot of people would come, and I was very happy for all the women that did. There was women from all different walks of life and all different backgrounds and all skill sets as well. So it was a very rewarding day from my standpoint as well.
That's incredible. And we appreciate you bringing that to us. We'll be sure to put the links down below so anybody who is interested in this or future workshops will be able to check that out, as well as this Instagram link. But thank you so much for taking your time, and I'll make sure that you get out there to watch the weigh-in and see who wins this one. So thank you again, Anastasia, for joining me, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Absolutely.